Hello there again, Brandon Bailey here, following up from the ranking of the Beach Boys studio albums video with my top 20 Beach Boys songs video. I appreciate any of you that actually watched the whole, almost 2 hours of that yesterday. Hopefully it was yesterday at this point, supposing that I got to upload this in the same amount of time. Anyway, but yeah, like I said at the end of that video, when I do over 15 albums for an artist, they're going to get a top 20 song list. Never more than top 20, I assure you. If I do, Neil Young or something who's got more albums than the Beach Boys, I think, it's not going to move up, just because he's got 30 or whatever. It's always going to be 10 or 20. So, without further ado, we'll get into this. And, like I said before in these videos, if you like this list, I've made a Spotify playlist for all of my top songs lists down below in the subscription, so you can check that after you hit that subscribe button, after all, and the thumbs up. Or if you don't like this, thumbs down. I don't really care, you know what I mean? This is all about opinions, and we're all free to speak them here. I actually encourage it. So, and hopefully I don't get an allergy attack again like I did at the beginning of the last video. But we're gonna move into this. And I gotta say that it was hard to do this. I know what my favorite songs are by them, but to put them in an order is just, it's just crazy to even do. Okay. But anyway, I did do it today, and I think it makes sense to me. At number 20, we have Wind Chimes. And yeah, what can I say about this one? Great track from Smile. I'm definitely talking about the Smile Sessions version, not the version off of Smiley Smile. There's not going to be anything from Smiley Smile on this, just saying. The version of Wind Chimes on the Smile Sessions is just so cool compared to the other one. I love the chromatic, walking of all the bass lines and stuff. Obviously the harmony vocals, and there is this slight heartbreaking element about it, when he's singing the few verses that are in the song, because there's the whole story that he was just getting all tripped out, and the wind chimes were just driving him nuts, I think, which is what led him to write this song. So it just got such a strange vibe about it, and I really love that. It really shows what Smile was all about. Number 19, we have Dance, Dance, Dance. And this one was in my original top 10 that I had done. Back when I was thinking about doing this, I was posting all my lists on the Taste Like Music review channel, and I know that Dance, Dance, Dance was my number 10 or something. But yeah, I just put some more above it today. I just had to. It's, to me, the best example of their early, rock and roll numbers. I love the riff in this song so much. It's one of my favorite riffs of all time. That it's so great. One of my favorite Carl Wilson guitar solos in here. I just love the upbeat, peppy nature of it. And it's not about surfing or girls or cars or summer fun in general. It's just about dancing, which is what music is kind of about. And it's great. It has a lot of energy to it. A great rocker. And I love the chord changes and the chorus when it shifts up. And then after the guitar solo, it does that key change in the middle of the riff. What song has a key change in the middle of the same riff that's going on? What the hell? So good. Anyway, off of Pet Sounds at number 18, we have Here Today. It's hard to not include everything off of Pet Sounds on here, literally. But Here Today is definitely a standout to me. The arrangement on this song in general and the inclusion of everyone's voices work so well together, sorry. The bass work on this song from Carol Kay, especially being some of the greatest in their catalog and that she's done, period. Just that little climb up, that boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, and it's and then you get that break in here where you just got the guitar and the bass tremolo picking that, and you just got them stops, the percussion, everything, the moving parts of the song is just clockwork. Like, this song sounds like clockwork. It's just amazing. Yeah. What can I say more about here today, dude? That one riff, boom, bam, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bam, like, so catchy. It's so good. God damn, such good lyrics, too. Like, couldn't say more about that track. Anyway, 17, from Sunflower. We got one of their best rocker songs. It's About Time. Song that barely even sounds like the Beach Boys, but once those harmonies kick in, there's no second guessing that. I love this song because I feel like Carl's speaking like about like what was on his mind at the time and like what he's been going through. I mean, just with them opening lines of the song, it's got really cool lyrics. One of the best guitar solos from him in their whole catalog, too. Like, it just sounds cool. Probably the closest they get to getting, like, a George Harrison, John Lennon-esque kind of, like, Beatles-y guitar solo. That's what it reminds me of, anyway, is, like, a Beatles solo. Let's see. Yeah, the backing vocals, like, when it gets to that middle section before the solo. Oh, my God, just so well done. So awesome. Like, man, this song just is such a journey. And such a surprise at this point in their catalog. Like, I don't think on Sunflower, like, you see this hard of a rocker coming up for them. Great song from Carl. Passionate delivery from him. Number 16, from Holland, we have Steamboat. And this one was hard for me to not place higher. It's just such a captivating song to me. I know it's like a huge slow burner, kind of a sleepy song. But it's probably Dennis's, like, coolest song to me. Like, this, he doesn't even sing on it, it's Carl singing it and stuff, but the fact that he wrote this whole thing is just unbelievable. Where to start? Like, the sounds of, like, the way it starts with the it's like that got that, like, descending bell, like, kind of line in it or something like that. Just those sounds, it sounds like you're floating down the river on a very slow steamboat. Like, I can just see where they're at in Holland, like, making this, like, song. Like, it's one of those songs that is just so haunting in its presence. That slide guitar solo, holy shit. It's just so crazy when it comes in, and it comes in, like, slides in perfectly. Got some awesome licks. The chord changes throughout are amazing. Oh my god. Just such a chill song off of Holland. I love it so much. It's got such an interesting vibe. Hugely influential to me. Number 15, another one off of Beach Boys today. We have She Knows Me Too Well. Another one, like, God, where to start? It's such a beautifully crafted song. I love the chord changes throughout the whole thing. And it's just got such a unique vibe with Brian's vocals and the way that they're all, you know, arranged together. And, God, it's just got one of the best outro, like, choruses of all time. It's just so beautiful when he goes into that. Like that. Gives me goosebumps every time. There's nothing like it on this song. I love the little solo in it too. Got a neat little solo from Carl. That boom. Pretty cool lick. Yeah, I love this. It's just got such a nice, romantic, honest nature about it too. Just such a foreshadowing of what was coming, you know, that everybody expects out of Brian's work at this point. All right. 14, and this one was hard to not place higher too. We have Surf's Up. You can take the one from the Surf's Up album, you can take the one from the Smile Sessions. They're pretty similar except for the production to me. Basically the same songs though, and got the same qualities about them that make me like it so much. But Surf's Up, man. The chord progressions, the different movements throughout it. The fact that it's, I don't know, maybe easily Brian's best and most impressive vocal performance. Every time he hits that domino, like and I try to sing this song in karaoke, it's just so hard to do. Like, this song is so hard to sing, like, accurately. The lyrics, there's just so mysterious. Great Van Dyke Parks lyrics. God, it's so captivating, the chords and everything, the movement of the song, and so heartbreaking at the same time. It's just such a sign of the times for them, the song, you know, Surf's Up. It's not about surf's up, dude. It's about, like, no, the surf is up, like, you know, like they say at the beginning of this album, you know, don't go near the water. You know, the water's been polluted, you know, the earth's dying now, you know, thanks to us and our, you know, hedonistic ways. So, you know, it's just such a beautiful song. I mean, there's nothing like it. Really nothing like Surf's Up, period. It's just so avant-garde in its arrangement, just, and yet so ornate and classical at the same time. Number 13, off of Pet Sounds as well, we have That's Not Me. And this might be my favorite actual set of lyrics in their whole catalog, like as a whole. The lyrics to That's Not Me just speak to me like so well. Like they should speak to any artist who's, you know, trying to be successful, I think. Because it just makes so much sense. And it's really such a sad, like, sounding song. But again, the chords in it are so beautiful. The harmonies, I mean, this is like one of the best lead vocal performances in their whole catalog. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what else to say about it, because it's just it's got such a vibe about it, you know, it's hard to really describe, you know, the way that these, like, cosmically arranged songs, you know, make you feel. But it definitely captures that coming-of-age vibe, probably more so than most of the songs on Pet Sounds. At least with the lyrics. And the, like, melancholy atmosphere of it. Alright, number 12. Final song off of Sunflower. Got Cool Cool Water. I know some people are at odds with this song, you know. Some people don't even consider it, like, a full song. And it is sort of based out of, like, some Smile session things, right? Like Love to Say Dada. But Cool Cool Water is its own thing. It became its own song, and it is its own song, much like Surf's Up to me, like where it has movements. Some of these movements may feel like different episodes of something, but it's pretty nice. I love the way that the sound of the actual waves in this is done. Like for an early 70s album, like these effects are placed in there so seamlessly and so well. And this is another just lo-fi like influence right here, the sound of it. And indie rock, I would say, too. The way that they hit that cool, cool water. Like, when they get to that part with that harmony. I know that maybe I didn't do it justice with my one voice doing that, but shit, it's just so amazing. Like, this song is so just encapsulating. It's incredible. Like, it's just incredible. Everything about it. They get them synths in there that sound like dripping noises. Like, it's just so strange and just so beautiful. I love Mike's lead vocals on this. Is probably one of his best lead vocal performances. And he ties up with Brian so well. It's just so much complexity to it, and with it being such a minimal kind of song, like, just nothing like it. There's nothing like Cool Cool Water out there. 11, Leaving This Town, just barely missing my top 10. I hate to not include that one in there, off of Holland, of course. Great song with Blondie Chaplin in the lead vocals. If not, I think it's my favorite with his. Well, actually, it is, because it's the last, not to give too much away, but it's the last one with him on here, like in the mix. Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'll get to, he's in the mix, but with, like, on the lead vocals, I'm stupid. Great song, though. Great, beautiful, sad song with an amazing chord progression, really representative of what the Beach Boys live band sounded like at that time. The synth solo alone in this is, like, really what sells it for me. It's just so emotive for a synth solo at the time, and, like, just gives me goosebumps when I hear it, and just makes me want to jam out. And just the lyrics to this alone speak to me, again, like, it just should, like, lyrics that should speak to most artists, I think. But, yeah, it's just so beautiful. Love Leaving This Town. Just captures the vibe that Holland goes for so well. So well. Let's see. Number 10 here. We're at the top 10 Beach Boys songs now, finally. We got an instrumental. This may surprise people. I know this is another one that split some people, and number 10 for me is Diamond Head off of Friends. I think it's definitely one of their best instrumental, like, kind of surfy, beach-sounding songs. Kind of has a little bit of that Bacharach, like, kind of sound to it. But it's so beautiful, so islandy, and the way that it opens up with, like, the reverb springs of the amp, like, being shaken at the beginning, like, if you have this song up too loud when this song comes on, it is pretty frightening, I would say that. But then once it gets past that, it's so worth it. It's just like this big wave just crashed over you, like almost killing you, and then making you wash up on the beach, and then here you are, you know, with the sound of them slidey chords that they have. It's just so beautiful, so excellently done. And honestly, for being one of the instrumentals, I don't even care that there's a possibility of this not having many of the Beach Boys themselves on it at all. Like, it's just so well done, and it is such a great addition to Friends. Like, oh my god. It's sad that that's the only song I have from Friends on here, not to spoil too much, but it's so good. I wish I could have included more from that album on here, but this is such a standout instrumental track outside of even the Beach Boys catalog to me, so I had to put it here at number 10. It's so cool when it comes in with that, like, ukulele solo after it has that sort of weird guitar interlude thing where it just does those harmonized chords together out of nowhere, that and then it just comes in with that ukulele solo. The chords are so cool. It's just got this vibe about it. It's so beautiful. Awesome stuff. Anyway, number 9, we have one of the last Blondie and Ricky era songs that are going to be on here. I got Marcella from Carl and the Passion, So Tough. And for a song that is kind of like a hit for them in a way of this period, I don't think that this song gets talked about enough. Like, the solo in this song is probably, if not definitely, the best guitar solo in their whole catalog. I love everything about it, the way that it comes in with that, like, it's just got this emotive sound about it, and it's so kind of spacey, and yet keeps to the rock and roll kind of vibe of the song. And I just love the kind of like mid-pace, like dancey kind of tempo the song has about it. The lyrics obviously are pretty cool too, for it being like a, you know, just a kind of like song about a woman dancing and stuff like that, like a beautiful woman. Like, I don't think it's tacky at all. Great chords, great groove, great vocals. It's just such a good, catchy song. Like, out of their whole catalog, this is one of their songs. And they have so many, but this song gets stuck in my head a lot. And that means to me that it just has such staying power, because I always want to listen to it. All right. Moving on from Marcella. At number 8, we have one of the great songs from Surf's Up, Till I Die. And, man, this song is so haunting. I mean, really a quality that I love about music that's always going to be a seller for me is if it has this haunting atmosphere about it. And I know Brian was quite tortured by this point in his career, like mentally and creatively, but I don't think that makes this not one of my favorites. You know, that makes me like it so much more because it's so mysterious in its essence. And his lyrics are just so open about it. I mean, they are metaphorical, but like everything he's saying feels like what he was truly going through. And anybody who's had similar mental experiences to that in their life can really relate to this song. The chords of it, again, are so beautiful. It's classic Brian arranged stuff, you know, like, goddamn, man, like, amazing Carl vocals on this song too. But easily, like with That's Not Me, this just ranks up lyrically in some of the best lyrics of all time. Ah, so good, man. What can you even say? All right. Number 7, This one's probably a shocker for most, even though, not to give much away without saying it yet, but I know this song did win, or was at least nominated for a Grammy when it came out on Brian Wilson Presents Smile. I'm talking about The Elements, Fire, in parentheses, Miss O'Leary's Cow. I know this song, you know, like, some people definitely see it as special, but for some to them, maybe it's not complete enough, or, like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to be included in a list like this. But man, this song shocked me for real when I first found out about it. And I think I first found out about it before even listening to the Smile sessions all the way through, by watching Love and Mercy. Because when this song comes on at that part in the movie where he's working on Smile, the vibes that it just gives you were so, like, creepy, like, ominous, like, sounding. And it really isn't just, like, it isn't like one of the heaviest or, like, darkest sounding songs ever. It truly isn't. It's quite whimsical still, but it does have an evil sort of nature about it. There is something very sinister about listening to this song that really, like, whew, it just makes my hair stand on end, especially when I first found out about it. But the chord change between the two chords that are basically moving throughout this song with that bass riff, that it's just such a weird change of chords. It's kind of what gives it that ominous tone. And then you got those vocals and these chromatic lines, you know, with the bass line, and then even the vocals are doing that later in the song. So crazy sounding, as there's nothing like that shit. And, you know, one of the few instances in rock and roll of a pipe whistle, and the woo is so funny. But yeah, and when you watch Brian Wilson Presents Smile, when it gets to this point in that concert, just the change in the lights and the dramaticness and just the look on Brian's face alone when the band is playing this song live for the first time is just like like, he looks terrified still. It's craziness. This song is maniacal in every essence of it. But it's just so interesting to me, and there's nothing like it, so I had to place it up this high. Alrighty. And just to go onto it a little bit, when you go from this song into Love to Say Dada on the Smile sessions, it's so cool. Like, you can hear exactly what he is going for, this very chaotic sound of, like, a town burning down, which is why it's called Mrs. O'Leary's Cow, in reference to that story. And then, like, when you get across all the way to Hawaii, you know, it's just cool water from that point on. And it's just such an awesome transition. One of the best on any albums, especially a concept album, like, ever. All right, moving on. Number 6. We have The Traitor, last song on here off of Holland. And the last one to feature the Ricky Fattar and Blondie Chaplin lineup. But this is a Carl-led song. Basically, this could have been a Carl solo song if he wanted it to be. But I love the lyrics to this song so much. Definitely top lyrics for me as well. About, you know, basically I think it's his take on the plight of Native Americans. And it really speaks to, like, they did this Brother Records thing, and, you know, the imagery of that, to me, all of that is very much linked to this song, The Traitor. Like, if none of the rootsy stuff that they were doing in the 70s is making any sense to you, The Traitor should put that all into perspective when you get to that song. It's so jaw-dropping, as I think Tom Petty said. I think he said when he got to the end of the song for the first time, it just dropped his jaw, you know, and he, you know, couldn't fix it. But it did the same thing for me, basically, the first time I heard it. When it gets to that end part of the song, it's just so, like, out of left field for the song and them in general, and it's so beautiful, his lyrics and everything. And the weird, odd rhythmic, like, rhythm changes that are going on is so weird. I mean, I think even members of the Beach Boys band at that time said that this was a hard one to nail down. Like, not because I think any of the parts are, like, super duper technically played, but there's just so much nuance to how this song is carried that it's hard to replicate live. But when they do it live, like it's on the Beach Boys in Concert album, which I highly recommend checking out. It's a 70s live album they have. The songs from this period that they include, including The Traitor, are just so well done and so good. I wish they would do this stuff way more often. It's so underrated. But yeah, I love the lyrics, the chord progressions. Like, Carl basically almost completely avoids the root note of, like, any of these chords. They're all, like, these weird different voicings, and it flows so well. The groove on it is nice. It's got this nice upbeat, jaunty groove, but he sings with such conviction and passion about what he's talking about. It's just a beautiful song. I mean, definitely one of Carl's best. And the next one just barely surpasses it for me as his best. Of course, I'm talking about number 5 with Feel Flows, to me, the grand champion of the Surf's Up album. I know Carl worked very hard on this song and was working very hard on all of his songs at this point in the career, but like this song has so much love to it. The lyrics are kind of weird to me. Like, I don't think anyone really fully understands what the hell these lyrics are talking about. Some say I think they might be like sexual in nature in some way. Maybe it's more of like a metaphysical thing or like a spiritual thing I think you might be talking about. I'm not quite sure. It's hard to pinpoint it. But what I can say, aside from the lyrics, is it's such a beautiful vocal performance. The production on this song is out of this world. It's so weird for them. Just the synths, the sounds of the synths and the keyboards that are being used. And then, like, I'm just out for lunch fucking in my head when they get to the middle solo section with the flute and guitar solo in tandem, and kind of a little bit of saxophone coming in there too at the end of it. But whew, my brain is just like, in La La Land when I'm listening to this song. Like, it just puts me in like this trance. And yeah, it's so cool. The chord progression in it is not very complex, but it's just so beautifully done. It has a lot of passion behind it. And like I said, the keyboard playing and the playing of the band is so well on here. I think it's one of Carl's best guitar moments and keyboard moments. Such an odd sounding synth that comes after the solos too, with that it just sounds like shit that like new wave bands that would start like using, and progressive rock bands, stuff that just like baffles me that it was even part of their sound at some point. Like, when I discovered these songs, I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know that I was still listening to the Beach Boys. But yeah, Feel Flow is such a goddamn good song. I love playing along to the song. It's a fun song to jam to. Thank you, Carl, for that one. All right, number 4. Last song I have on here off of Beach Boys Today. Even though that album has so many good songs, I could have included literally all of them on here too. But we got Please Let Me Wonder. And yeah, this song, man, what a chordy song. I love all the chords to this song. It's just got so much movement, and it's still like such a beautiful, like, romantic and like kind of typical ballad for what they were doing with their ballads at the time. But if Don't Worry Baby is like the peak of them for you for some reason, I just see that this is being like superior. I hate to say that any music is superior in any way, really, but like, we're ranking stuff here. So in my opinion, Please Let Me Wonder is like the better version of Don't Worry Baby, which is a little too reminiscent of Be My Baby that it was kind of inspired by. Still a great song. I love Don't Worry Baby. But Please Let Me Wonder is almost like the same idea, but way more interesting. The vocals are so awesome and beautiful sounding here, like untouchable vocal performances on this song. It's amazing, so captivating, and love like the 12-string guitar work. As I said, the chord progressions, and there's like little nuanced little movements in them, like that boom, like that little walk that they do in there, and they do it again with the boom, like, So cool. The chorus, like the back and forth vocal play on it is amazing. The little solo that kind of sounds like the "Don't Worry Baby" solo with that 12-string Rickenbacker sound, that like those little triplets on there. So cool. It's such a beautiful song. I've probably listened to this song just like a million times already in my life. I can't get enough of it. I even have a solo song that references this song, and other Beach Boys songs too, but mainly references this one. It's in the chorus. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's just another one of those songs, like, it's just breathtaking. What else can I say about it? It had such an impact on me the first time I heard it. It's so profound. And I love the lyrics. The lyrics are great coming-of-age romantic lyrics for any person that has trouble, finding romance in their life, really, or having a strong relationships. Anyway, number 3... Getting into the top 3, close to the end here. Very sad to be almost done talking about the Beach Boys. But it probably won't be the last time I bring them up on this channel, by any means. Number 3, though, another song off of Pet Sounds. We have "I Just Wasn't Made for These Times." And, man, this song is haunting. This is probably one of the most haunting of haunting songs that there is. It's just one of those songs that gives you goosebumps. Chord progressions on it, out of this world, obviously, as most on Pet Sounds are, but just the way that the Carol Kay's bass line moves between the chords is awesome, and the vocal arrangements and the lead vocal pattern too is breathtaking. Some of the oddest stuff ever conceived in music. When it gets to that one line with the theremin on it too, that is kind of foreshadowing of Good Vibrations. It's out of this world. Like, it sounds so alien, that like, I know I probably didn't do it justice trying to onomatopoeia it right there, but that part alone just sells the whole thing for me. Like, so incredibly crazy and out of nowhere. Like, even when that chord comes up, it's just such a shift. It's so cool. Such a good modulation. That's really what most of Pet Sounds and Brian's work is about, is beautiful modulations between chords that sometimes don't even belong in the same key, relatively anyway. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the lyrics of this song, perfect, like, sad boy emo lyrics. Probably one of the first, like, emo songs, like, ever lyrically and, like, vibe-wise. But that shouldn't take away from any of it. I don't think it's, like, so depressing that, it just makes you want to, do something bad and it's, like, toxic or something. It's one of those songs that's so depressing that it, like, speaks to anybody who's dealt with these issues on such a visceral, profound level that, I think it makes you want to achieve great things like he was doing on this song. So it's just an untouchable, dramatic, like, emotional song for me, and, like, there's a reason that people talk about this song endlessly when talking about Pet Sounds and Brian's compositions. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, that theremin line that comes in, it's so haunting. I mean, they tandem it up with the vocals at some point too in the song, but whew, so cool. And the coda on this too, like, and I didn't even mention that, like, the Beach Boys are probably, like, the best coda band. Like, they just have the best codas on the end of, like, any of their songs. It's so cool. And this one, with the way that he keeps repeating, "I just wasn't made for these times," and it shifts through all the different chords and modes. It's so strange and so alien-like the way it sounds. I love it. Can't get enough of that song. Number 2, also off of Pet Sounds, but kind of not. It depends on how you want to look at this one. I have "Hang On to Your Ego." Oh, what else is it called? It's also called "I Know That There's an Answer." Or, "I Know There's an Answer." Sorry, not "That There's an Answer." Sorry. But yeah, "Hang On to Your Ego," to me, is the better version of the song. Nothing wrong with either versions. I think that they're both fine, you know what I mean? When you're listening to Pet Sounds and, Mike's singing his part with "I know there's an answer," There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. It's still great. It sucks that there's a bad story behind why it was changed that way. But it is what it is. It's an interesting, integral part of their story and what changed their dynamic so much. But to be fair, I really do love Hang On to Your Ego as the title and the overall focus of what this song is trying to get across. I know There's an Answer just doesn't speak the volumes that Hang On to Your Ego does. Like, that song is like Brian's message to the world, basically, like at that time. And aside from the lyrics being amazing and awesome and just, totally in your face to like what Mike was trying to say about like keeping to the formula, man, like that's gonna sell the records, man, like it's just complete bullshit, and he's calling everybody out on their bullshit in this song, and I love it. I just love everything about that. And God, okay, just away from the lyrics for a bit, the music itself, those crazy chords that are going on just in the verse. I mean, I know it's kind of just moving between B flat and F, but they're doing like some crazy fucking extended chords that are just out of this world. And the movement of the bass, again, like most of Pet Sounds, is just incredible. The song's just so unique in its sound, and also yet still captures like the main vibe of the Pet Sounds sound to me. Like this song is so representative of that. It's bright and cheerful, but also a little bit dark and melancholy at the same time, and sad. And then the bass harmonica solo that comes in during the bridge, probably one of the best uses of that instrument ever, and I know one of the earliest, if not the first, bass harmonica solo ever. Really cool. But yeah, the lyrics for this one really sell it to me. They just speak to me like so much above like the rest of their songs, and it's just got such a strange compositional way about it that I just can't ignore it. I mean, really, you can arrange a lot of these songs all over the place for me, but I just love the story behind this one and the vibe it has. So, had to put it at number 2. Number 1 for me, though, has not changed since I started diving really deep into the Beach Boys 4 or 5, maybe so years ago now. This one is Cabanescence, my number 1 song by the Beach Boys, one of my favorite songs of all time. Definitely in like my top 10 or 5. I haven't really thought of that in a long time, but it's up there. This song, while I think is greatly ignored by a lot of fans, they just don't want to talk about the craziness of it, I don't think. And Mike Love has kind of downplayed it, saying that he thought it was trite, train of thought, like kind of lyrics and stuff. Like I think that's ridiculous. I think it captures the pastoral vibes and the like road trip nature that Brian was going for on Smile like so well. I mean, it's my favorite song of theirs. I think it represents Smile well, even better than Good Vibrations. Like, and I love that song. It just doesn't do it for me as much as all the other ones on this list. Yeah, Cabanescence obviously goes through its different movements and stuff like that, similar to most songs on Smile, but the way it starts off with the tandem, like, guitar and banjo and vocal thing, with the vocals doing that boing, 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 like trying to sound like a banjo or something, is awesome. But it all meshes so well together, and Carl's vocal delivery on it is so beautiful. And then it gets into that second part with the Who Ran the Iron Horse. It's so cool, like, it kind of does that similar vocal movement to Fire, where it does that chromatic, like, up and down, like, kind of swelling. But it's so cool. It's got that, like, sounds like a locomotive, like, churning down the tracks. And then it jumps right back into that, like, you're on the countryside again, goes back to your, like, working on the railroad. And then it does the whole, have you seen the Grand Coulee working on the railroad part, where it shifts up these chords that keep moving up like a whole step. It's like it moves up a third, then a whole step, and it keeps moving up whole steps until you finally end up like wrapped around like the whole circle of fifths, and then you're back at C again, and fucking it moves into that crazy, the best part of the song, best part of their whole catalog to me, the crazy meditative, hypnotic outro coda, where it just says over and over, the crow cries uncover the cornfield. Over and over, the thresher in clover the wheat fields. You know, that line to me is so weird and strange, but yet captures Smile so well to me. And then, like, you got that heavy fuzz bass that comes in, the from Carol Kay in there. You got that awesome, like, sitar sounding. It might be a sitar, but I'm not sure. But it has that, like, bang, bang, down, bang, bang. It's like that descending line that's in there. So psychedelic sounding. It's just so great. I love it. It's such a hypnotic and beautiful song. It goes through so many movements. I can't say enough good things about Cabin Essence. That song completely blows my mind, even after hearing it millions of times later. It's so good, so cool. Underrated as hell, too. And, you know, to give some honorable mentions here, you know, I am sad to not have included a lot on here. There was so many honorable mentions, but to not include, like, obvious classics like Don't Worry, Baby, California Girls, God Only Knows, Good Vibrations, I Get Around, a lot of stuff like that. It really hurt. But I just, like, those songs don't do it for me as much as I respect them as being as strong and great as they are. These songs just put me on a whole nother level that's more special to me personally. I mean, I didn't grow up in the times that these songs came out, so they kind of speak a different message to me as far as their musicality, you know. And I know I don't have much of the sunshiny, fun-loving surf rock Beach Boys on here. That's just not my thing. It never will be my thing. I mean, it's cool. I love that it's a product of its time, and, you know, they did it better and, you know, more innovatingly than anybody else, but they just became better artists and more seasoned artists, much to, you know, how much Mike Love may disagree to that. But they were just becoming better artists, and Brian knew what he had to do, and he did it, and that's why I like all this stuff. You know, the stories of the songs themselves are incredible. Not let alone the sound of them, you know, and the playing and the vocals and stuff. Incredible. Love the Beach Boys, one of the greatest, most influential artists and vocal groups and bands of all time. I think some people forget that they are a band. They're not just a vocal group or like a boy band or something. It's so much more than that. You know, it's just been a wild ride doing this whole thing, ranking the albums and then trying to pick my favorite songs. I had a pretty clear grasp on it before, but actually having to do it and write it down is a little different. But yeah, definitely one of the biggest projects I'm ever going to take on in this channel. We'll see, though. Some artists have more albums. We'll get to that. Probably less that I like as much as I like the Beach Boys stuff, but we'll get there very soon, hopefully. But yeah, I will see you in the next ranking and discussion videos, and don't know how much time is going to be in between this one and the next one, but we'll see. It might not be just like a week, because this is going to take a little longer than I want to edit. I already know, but we'll get there. Thank you for watching and sticking around through all this. It's been a pleasure talking about one of the greatest artists of all time with you. And yeah, hopefully you liked and subscribed and you got your own opinions. You want to let me know what they are. But yeah, I appreciate all of the support. It means so much to me. That other people want to find good music and enjoy what I have to say about it. So yeah, have a great day. Peace and love.